This episode of Man of Prestige, she will not miss you. If you go ahead and start posting stuff on social media all the time and she follows you and all this kind of stuff, all these gimmicky strategies, she will not miss you. Okay? The key thing is that however ways you've been available to her, if that's no longer available, she will miss you, especially if it's longer than 10 years. Because again, once you're with somebody for longer than 10 years, a piece of you is just them. A piece of them is you. You've been conditioned to only know this person, and there's something very comfortable. There's a value you get from being with them for that long, right? But if it's less than, it's not a cutthroat number. It's just something for you to gauge with. It could be, you could use 5 years in place of that, but 10 years is better, right? Because that's a whole decade of someone's life, right? That's a whole tenth of most people's life or more, right? So, Man of Prestige, welcome back. All right, so 3 questions. I have 3 questions for you to help me help you make her miss you. You want her to miss you. I get it. You got dumped, okay? So again, as usual, the only reason why you're not as usual, but this type of videos, the only reason why you're watching is because you maybe got dumped and you want her to miss you. But let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you dumped her because she had bad behaviors and you want her to miss you before you make a move to rekindle or rebuild the relationship. It's a wild guess. I doubt the second one, but it's a wild guess, right? But it's possible, never say never, right? So question number 3 is, why make her miss you? Why do you want to make her miss you? All right? This is a question you need to answer the guy in the mirror, or maybe in the comment below, right? But more importantly, the guy in the mirror should answer this question. Why do you want to make her miss you? Is it because you want her back? Is it because she had bad behaviors, like I said earlier? Do you feel like she's taking you for granted, right? Do you feel like if she misses you, she will treat you a little bit better? Okay, whatever that reason is, I want you to identify that. I want you to write that down somewhere, okay? Question number 2, what is making you want to make her miss you? Now we're talking about you, right? So we're not talking about what you want her to do, but what is it about you that's making you want to make her miss you? Because at the end of the day, there's a certain level of energy you're putting into this, right? And you may not see it physically, but it's taking space in your brain, in your mind, in your heart, right? You want to make her miss you. What is it about you, right, that is making you want to make her miss you? It could be lack of self-respect, a low self-esteem. It could be, damn it, I'm just petty, right? It could be that too, right? Right, you want to make sure you identify what that is. If it's just, damn it, I'm just petty, there's a good chance that that's harmless. It's okay. I'm not going to judge you for that, right? But if you are, if it's the other ones, low self-esteem and all this kind of stuff, there's a good chance that these things are affecting other areas of your life outside of her, right? You're showing up less than. You're not showing up, basically. You're not being consistent, right? But now that you've been rejected, you're feeling a level of obsession, because rejection does breed obsession, and this is not going to work too much well in your favor if you keep going in that direction. But if you're just being petty, I'm guessing that this is just a feeling of a moment. I doubt it, but then it is what it is. I can appreciate being petty every now and then, right? But I'll say, as a man, it's terrible energy to engage yourself in, okay? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It may feel like it's worth it in the short term, but make sure you limit that to your short term, right? At some point, you want to get over it. And if she's going to miss you, it's going to be your absence, right? It's going to be distance. It's going to be space, right? If she's asked you for space, there's a good chance that you need the space. Like yourself, you need the space, but you haven't realized because you've been rejected, and rejection breeds obsession. The third question that I want to ask to help me help you if you want to make her miss you is this. Is your relationship more than 10 years old, right? If your relationship is more than 10 years old, either an LTR or a marriage, right? Then I understand why you may feel like you need to make her miss you, right? Even more importantly, you definitely need to add some space to it. Now, the reason why this is going to be highly rewarding is because it's actually hard. Anything that's worthwhile in life is not easy, but it's because it's worthwhile, right? So we make easy or hard or difficult, we make those things irrelevant when we care or we want something bad enough, right? But if it's less than 10 years, right? If it's less than 10 years kind of situation, even a marriage, yes, some space, but it's a little bit different. Like I'll tell you like this: if somebody's been with you for more than 10 years, it's just easier. It's easier to reattract them back to you. It's easier to, because all you have to do is remove yourself for a little while, okay, and then refocus all that energy back on your purpose. But if they've been with you for less than 10 years, then it's a little bit easier for them to actually hit your guts. There's a good chance that the last 7 to 3 years with them has been just painful. They just stay there because it was harder for them to kind of leave you too, right? So I would say these questions, rewind this video. These 3 questions will help you process what you need to do. The ideal thing is this: you want a person to miss you, right? If it's like economics, okay? I hate to compare science and studies or anything like that to romantic relationships or to romance in general, but it's actually applicable. When something is readily available, if you're just there, if she can pick up the phone and just call you anytime, she will feel entitled. Okay, that means she would not miss you. If she knows she can do that, she will not miss you. If you go ahead and start posting stuff on social media all the time and she follows you and all this kind of stuff, all these gimmicky strategies, she will not miss you. Okay, the key thing is that however ways you have been available to her, if that's no longer available, she will miss you, especially if it's longer than 10 years. Because again, once you're with somebody for longer than 10 years, a piece of you is just them. A piece of them is you. You've been conditioned to only know this person, and there's something very comfortable. There's a value you get from being with them for that long, right? But if it's less than, it's not a cutthroat number. It's just something for you to gauge with. It could be, you could use 5 years in place of that, but 10 years is better, right? Because that's a whole decade of someone's life, right? That's a whole tenth of most people's life or more, right? So, but it's good that you know that space is the only thing that can make a person miss you. They will take you for granted if you're available, even on social media, because social media is the only way that people connect right now, right? So am I saying go ahead and block them? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't put too much energy into the idea of I want to make them miss you. By doing so, you're giving them attention and they won't miss you. But if you remove your mind, which is extremely hard without a purpose-driven life, if you remove your mind from the idea of them missing you, you will increase the chances that they will actually miss you. But by staying focused on strategies to make them miss you, they will increase the chances that they are now exposed to you one way or the other, and then you would destroy the idea. If missing you is a good thing for you, if you feel like if they miss you, that will become a good thing for you, then basically make them miss you by not making yourself so available. But let's start with your heart, with your emotions. Why are you dwelling on this? Why are you giving so much energy? I know exactly why. It's because you're less busy. It's because you're not engaged with purpose. When you're engaged with purpose in life, especially as a man, you will have less time for bullshit. Man of prestige,